going on, everybody? Welcome to the Backpacking Podcast, brought to you by Outdoor Vitals. Live ultralight.
Yes, that's right. Outdoor Vitals, our title sponsor, the makers of Performance First ultralight gear. Got a big box in the mail today that I'm excited to open up from Outdoor Vitals, and I guess y'all hear more about their stuff and what I like. Right now, I'm digging the Ventus hoodie, and they got a sale going, but only if you use our link. And this link, it will give you 17% off of the Ventus hoodie, and you'll get a free pillow. That is 15% plus 2 more percent, nearly a $55 savings.
OutdoorVitals.com/BP hoodie. And also going on right now, this is pretty cool. We just got an email about it. They are doing a sale on all of their ultralight backpacks. And when I say they're having a sale, I'm talking like killer prices. If you are a Live Ultralight member, you get an additional discount with the Live Ultralight membership right now. The $367.97 C40 Ultra Pack, CS40 Ultra Pack is actually on sale for $296.97. That is like $70+ off, which is crazy, Jeremiah. Crazy.
One of those are in the box. I can't wait to try it.
I've already got mine out, and let me tell you, I'm excited about it. So big thank you to Outdoor Vitals for being our title sponsor. Jeremiah, let's get to the podcast right now. So tonight,
Yes.
we have somebody who does not represent our show sponsor tonight very well.
Yeah, why is that?
He has no real beard.
Oh, dude, I was going to tell you. I was going through, catching up on the comments on the YouTube channel, and I am enjoying your all's feedback on the Spotify video as well, by the way. But somebody was like, you know, you got an orange squatch there because my hair's growing and the way I get it to grow.
Oh, yeah.
Outdoorbeards.com, man. My favorite flavor right now is the grandma's pie. It smells like a pumpkin pie.
Oh, yeah, man. It smells so good. I love that stuff. One of the things I love is they've got the little tins that you can take with you when you go traveling. I was at a conference 2 weeks ago, and I had that little can with me and was able to use it all week. And I was able to have just that beard balm for the entire week. Kept me nice and shiny and smooth. So I look good and I smell good.
Yeah, they got everything that you would need. Facial, wash, big comb for your beard, brush, oils, soaps. I mean, outdoorbeards.com. If you want to save 10% off, use our code BACKPACKING whenever you check out.
That's right. And it is probably one of the most manly things you'll ever do in your life is taking care of your beard the proper way. Am I right, Jeremiah?
Yeah, you can look like this.
I love it. I love it. Well, let's go ahead and bring on our guest tonight. He is an OG backpacking podcaster. Him and a guy named Derek, who didn't go backpacking with me a few weeks ago. He is, they are the co-hosts of the Backpacking and Blisters Podcast. We're excited to have Carl Mandrioli on. First scene in my life right there. Hey, Carl, what's going on, man?
Hey, guys, what's going on?
Oh, we're just having you on the show and enjoying the opportunity to talk with the infamous Carl Mandrioli.
Infamous? What are you talking about?
You're not just famous, you're infamous.
Yeah, I mean, we could just jump right in with stories, and I can talk about some infamy from your end if you want to.
You probably could at this
tables
point.
right away.
I bet you could.
Yeah.
I bet you could. Now, Carl was a little upset with me earlier today. And actually, it wasn't today. It was a couple weeks ago. Because Carl was supposed to be our guest a few weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
Yeah. And Carl, what did you tell me when we were talking about it earlier?
I got rejected.
Yeah.
Rejection.
He said I rejected him. And I told him, I said, actually, it's not rejection. I was trying to soften the blow for him because I know Carl's fragile. He's a good guy. He just, he gets his feelings hurt easy. And I want to protect him. So I told Carl, I was like, it's not rejection. We extended our live streams another week so that we could have Carl on.
Yeah,
hey, it's an honor to be on, man.
Your new nickname is going to be Big Deal. Like, that's really what we're going to start calling you. Big Deal Carl Mandrioli.
Misleading. Misleading.
Well, for people that don't know, these guys actually do like each other. I mean, John's coming in hot right off the start. But
Now, I will say, Jeremiah, if you've ever been on the Backpacking and Blisters podcast, if you don't know how to come with it, you're in trouble. Because those boys know how to bring it. I'm
There's
just
two
telling
things
you.
they like. It's roasting and trivia.
Oh, that's the truth, man. And if you don't get the trivia right, you get roasted.
Nah, I'm
That is
just
so
messing
funny.
around with you, man.
Oh,
But it
gosh.
is awesome to have you on the show. I didn't get to make your Patreon trip, but I heard y'all had a good time whenever y'all went out to the gorge a few weeks ago.
Yeah, you were on the list. I think you said I'm probably going to come, and then that was the last I heard from you. So I had you on the list with like 3 question marks. I wasn't sure like how to account for you on that one. But then you also said like don't over text me or email me. Like I really don't want any communication from you. So I just was like, all right, he may or may not come. I don't know how to respond to that.
Well, I don't know if it was exactly those words. maybe those were the vibes I was putting off, but I think you were expecting quite a few people because y'all have this Patreon, and part of the perks is you listen to your podcast and you can like help out the show by donating some money each month, and then you get on the A list, and then you happen to fly out here from, I don't know what state you live in, but you flew out here. I think Denver maybe you flew out of, and then come into Kentucky and hosted basically a hike for you and your patrons and a few other people.
Correct. Yeah. So we have our Patreon, set up. Everybody's got Patreon nowadays, it seems like, except for you guys, right?
No, we don't like
we
money.
hate money. Yeah, we
don't
don't
like
like
money.
it, so we just say no thanks. Super chats are open,
The
by the way.
Patreon,
Yeah.
the Patreon keeps us going, and so we started doing Patreon events, but we only pump it up on our show, and it's only for people that are part of our Patreon crew. And then JK, you put it on your show, and so that was like a game changer.
What did I do?
What? Huh?
What? There were a lot of text
You already talked
messages.
about it.
There were a lot of text messages when I posted that, because all of a sudden Carl goes, "What did you say?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "You talked about our trip on your podcast." And all of a sudden I got more people wanting to sign up. And
Right. Yeah.
what he didn't realize was it wasn't because I was going on the trip. It was because there were people that didn't realize the trip was happening and have always wanted to go on a trip with Carl. And so the extra exposure meant that people wanted to backpack with Carl.
Yeah,
So.
incorrect. I appreciate that, but no, I think you were a major draw, so you're trying to be humble. But no, you know what? Whoever you drew to the trip, though, I mean, they were awesome. We've been so fortunate. The folks that listen, I imagine, to your podcast and definitely to our podcast, they're just the best people in the world. Love meeting them, and just we had a great time.
It was. Hey, we got some great comments going on right now. We got to read these. First off, we got Backcountry Exposure. Devin saying, "Are we just roasting Carl tonight?" So,
John did
Correct.
say before
Jeff-
we even started the show, he doesn't have a beard.
Oh, wait.
He came on.
Wait. Hey, this is great. Listen, Jeff Peters says, "Be on alert, everyone. Carl is going to grade all of our comments no better than C-."
Correct.
Well, Jeremiah Bagwell said it'll be the highest grade I had since 6th grade. I'll take it. So, and then they're giving you a hard time on here too, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Outdoor Adventures with Shane says Carl can't grow a beard.
Oh, your beard looks
no.
good, man.
I was gonna say it looks like you can.
Yeah.
Can you not?
Yeah,
'Cause
I just
it looks like
I
you
just
can.
trimmed it like yesterday.
I'll say you look like you can grow a beard. Although Jeff Peters says your face is dirty. So that's okay though, because they weren't just roasting you; they were getting on me and Jeremiah too, because they said we need to up our beard game if we're going to hang with Tayson from Outdoor Vitals, and they're not wrong about that, because Tayson's beard is a masterpiece. So
Right.
absolute masterpiece. Well, Carl, I want people to know something about you. When you're talking about your trips that you guys take, you told me that Derek was always the one that handled the fires, basically. Is that right? He typically is the fire guy?
Fires? Yeah, like 80%.
Okay. Well, I learned some things about you. Let me see if this is the right video here. So, Mike, tell me about these. Don't you love it when a video doesn't play like it's supposed to?
You know, at the
This
bottom
usually
of the
only happens
screen-
with Jeremiah. So here's what we're gonna do. Are you ready for this?
Wait.
No, here it
At the
comes.
bottom of
I'm
the
still ready.
screen,
It's coming up now.
Nobody
Okay.
could hear us. Oh my God.
Okay, here we go.
That's right. It's in your library.
Nobody could hear you all while the video's playing.
I know. Is that great? Is that great? So check this out. Carl cut that entire log with that little handsaw, all by himself, and that was how we had our fire the whole weekend. And for those who, if you didn't see it, this is what happened. Carl's a beast, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Anybody ever gave Carl a hard time, don't ever question his manhood. I watched him chop that entire log down with that little handsaw.
Is that
So-
true?
Man.
It's true.
No. No, that's
100%
not
true.
true. Some guy brought like a little saw, and then I was dared to try to like cut into that thing, not knowing how long that would take. And I got about 10 seconds, and I was like, "That's good."
Okay, we had a comment here I got to post. It says, "Is Derek running the show?"
That's a good
Wow.
He's getting back at us for like talking about him when he's not here. So it says we're gonna have to get IT out here to fix this. Yeah, I just got to remember which video is what. That's the problem. So, anyways,
Did you not label the videos?
why would I do something like that?
They're just labeled like
I gotta
like
figure it out now. No, it's
5,
like
07, 24,
IMG 9913. There you go. So, but so we showed this video a few weeks ago, and I got to show it again now because this is a little this is something that happened on the trip, and it was one of the strangest moments that I've ever experienced. I've lived in Kentucky now for over 30 years, and I've never experienced anything like this. This blew my mind. So quite literally, there are horses walking through our campsite right now. Like right there, like out of nowhere, and that music is being played from a Bluetooth speaker.
Thing I've ever seen happen in a campsite. What is that? What is that?
Only in Kentucky.
Apparently,
Only in
we,
Kentucky.
apparently we did put our tent on a trail.
Oh my God. What just happened?
Did you try to warn him?
Weirdest thing. I just hope they didn't poop on the trail. So that was real. That happened, and seeing Carl's face when they first showed up was probably a highlight of the weekend. Like, what was going
Really?
through your head, Carl, when you saw these horses? Well, first we heard them from a distance. So we're sitting around the campfire and we hear this music coming up from behind us, and then we all just kind of turn and look around and nobody knows what to say. Like, we all went silent, didn't we?
I think so. I mean, to be honest, like our podcast is kind of built on experiences like this. Like, what in the world is happening right now? Who are we encountering? What's going on? What crazy characters are out there? And then we just, dig into those moments. And so for me, I'm like, another backpacking trip, another weird thing that's happening. So for me, I hadn't had that before, but I was, I mean, I just was like, what's going on? I'm sure we'll talk about this.
So, okay, so I've never been on a backpacking trip like the one I went on with you. I have to be honest, never been on one like this before. First off, we did a white elephant gift exchange.
Right.
So do you want to explain the concept behind doing a white elephant gift exchange in April?
Okay, I'm trying to figure out how we're going through the story here. So I guess we're just going to be kind of bouncing around a little bit because I feel like
all over the place.
Of all the because if you're like, I've never experienced a trip like this, then I'm like, there's about 10 things that happened before the white elephant gift exchange that's definitely weird and unique that happened, including somebody named Jeremiah that didn't even go on the trip, but called me up out of the blue to warn me. He's like, almost like a pirate, like, you intruders to the Red River Gorge, beware. And then he's like, you're going to want to change your trip. You're going to want to reroute and beware all the bad weather, the river crossing, I don't know who you are, Carl, thinking you can come into our state and plan a trip, but get out of here and redo it all. And then he's like, and then I'll maybe come. So there's that. And then, and so of course we didn't. I was like, I don't know. I've never been here before. I'm just going off of like local intel. But anyway, we have all these people kind of coming and going on the trip because it's local to a lot of folks. People are like, I can make day 1, not day 2. I can make day 2, not day 3. Just like weird stuff like that. I'd never experienced that before. But my whole thing is like when we go on a trip, I want to build community. I want people to feel welcome and part of the group, and like there's a sense of camaraderie. And we have a bunch of strangers. You have to figure out how to do that. And a lot of times it'll just naturally happen anyway through conversation. But I try to come up with a couple different things that would bring people together. And so I don't know where I thought of it, but I just thought, what if we bring white elephant gifts in April? It's got to be under a pound. It's got to be wrapped. It's got to be something from your backpacking gear bin or box or whatever that you are rejecting. And I don't know. How do you think it went?
I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was one of the funniest things we did. It was hilarious. It was even funnier that I completely forgot about it. And so I get there and didn't have a gift. And I actually have my gift boxed up, ready to ship out tomorrow, because I had to double check an address, because when I put it in the system for UPS, they said the address didn't exist. So I had to come back and redo the address. But that is going out tomorrow to a special somebody. But yeah, that was fun. It was definitely different. It was weird getting a random little mini Tupperware container with orange pills in it. That was strange. You don't want to know, Jeremiah. What happens on the trail stays on the trail.
I think it was Advil.
It was ibuprofen. It was ibuprofen.
Yeah.
But that was strange. And then you also introduced a new game that I personally had never experienced on a trail before. And that was Backcountry Bocce Ball.
Correct.
So do you want to explain Backcountry Bocce Ball?
Are you showing the video on this one?
I'm going to here in a second, but I want you to explain it to everybody first.
Okay, that's not my thing. Like I enjoy it, don't get me wrong, but yeah, my co-host Derek, he loves this game. It's like, I want to say it's like an 8-ounce bag of just kind of like these rubberized balls that are just miniature as compared with like the actual bocce ball game. And so you're just, it's just like, works like bocce ball, but you just get competitive with it. You get weird with it. You throw it off the tent or, under your leg, or you make weird sounds and you just have fun with it. Again, it's another like kind of camaraderie game, and it's just a game.
Yeah, but there are some things you can do in this game. One of the things that you did was you said you could say how you throw the ball, not just where you throw it, but what you have to throw it against, what you have to throw it through, whether or not you want to yell out random words or grunt in the middle of the game. And so there was at one point where we had given you the new nickname of Mando from The Mandalorian. And so somebody got it in their mind that we needed to yell Mando every time we threw the ball. And this is how it came out. So.
Mando! Mando! Oh, yeah.
He was going after it, man.
Good throw.
Whoa!
That's a true Mando throw. That's a Mando throw.
If I hate you guys, I'm so sorry.
I almost hit Jen.
Oh, wow. All right. Mando!
Yep, that made it through.
Nice. Oh, jeez.
Mando!
That's more of a question. Me.
Mando!
Needless to say, stuff like that was going on the whole time. And I think the one that was the funniest, and I don't have video of it or else I would be showing it, was when you had to yell like a Wookiee.
Right.
So these are
What was your yell, John? What was your yell?
My yell? My Wookiee yell? I can't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Can't do it. I can't do it. Here's the problem is if I do it, I won't be able to finish out the podcast. And I know that's great for Jeremiah, but I don't want to do that. So got to protect my voice, man.
On the game, what are you're throwing it at people? Somebody said, if I hit you, I'm sorry. What were you trying? What? I only saw people yelling Mando. I didn't see what you're throwing at. Were there targets down there? Did y'all pick the smallest guy? You just
I
throw
think
the
there were
ball
just
at it?
people, not everybody was playing. So there's people standing around and we had targets. I don't know, with like regular bocce ball, you're like, all right, you got to get it off the tent and then wherever it lands. And then now your next ball is trying to get as close to as possible. So if that's next to a person or next to the campfire or next to a horse that's pooping in your camp, like whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
I'm
At one
still
point,
not-
we were bouncing them off of tents.
Yeah.
I don't-
We had to
How
roll it
many-
across my tarp at one point.
Is this? I'm not sure I really understand this game.
So the first person throws the target ball.
Yeah, but
Wherever the ball
These-
lands, your goal is to land your ball as close to that one as you possibly can.
how many do y'all bring?
There's 4 teams of 2 people.
14.
So there's 9 total balls.
Okay.
The target ball, then all the balls that are throwing towards it to try and get closest.
Different colors.
And what's this called?
Bocce ball.
Bocce ball, and y'all just Derek totally made it
Do
up.
you guys have this is like a game that's been around for like 100 years, I want to say.
Oh, never heard of it. I'm
Okay.
uncultured. They call it uncultured. The
It's okay.
language.
I'd never played bocce ball in my life until this, and I'm not even sure that I really played bocce ball when we were out there. So
Probably not. It's in like the same vein as croquet and other yard games. So it's not. It's just like it's like a silly yard game kind of thing.
Riff Outdoors said if you
Cornhole,
weren't
all
playing,
stuff.
you were the target. So
That's right.
he's not entirely wrong on that. I'm just gonna say that. And Doc Watson calls it Italian horseshoe with balls. So
Oh, that makes sense.
there you go. So they're having some good comments. So I got to bring these up because people have been just going on here. When I called you Big Deal earlier, they said Big Deal is shameless. Look at that shirt.
Oh, I like the shirt.
I think it's a great shirt, personally.
Backpacking and Blisters Podcast.
I fanboy over that podcast, so I'm okay with
Good
it.
mark.
Ben
Okay.
McMillan wants to see how I react walking through a zoo.
What?
That's what he wants. Jeff Peters wants to know how quick did Carl chase down those riders and start scolding them.
For the Bluetooth speaker.
Jeff is not shy. Jeff's just this is a roast for Jeff. He's just digging in nonstop.
I
Thanks,
take it you know Jeff.
yeah. I think his name's popped up a few times on our show. He's nice guy.
So
We only did one live stream, so we don't get the feedback like you do, like on the spot all the time.
Oh, I got you. Well, I mean, that's because you have a professional podcast and we don't know what we're doing. So
Whatever.
we do the live streams and the comments cover for our lack of things to talk about. So
Yeah.
Jeremiah Bagwell said, not ibuprofen, it's hurtin'.
Oh.
That was nice. That's good. That's good. And then if Jeremiah was doing the White Elephant gift exchange, he would have brought his Go Next gear. So
I wanted to hear some of these gifts. What kind of junk did y'all wrap up and bring? Because you said it has to be rejected, right?
Right.
yes.
So I
Okay.
brought, I got a freebie. Oh, what was it? Nemo sit pad. So whatever that was, I don't know how many ounces that was, but one of their they use that recycled material, the sit pad, and I'm not a sit pad guy, so I was not going to use that. So that was what I brought. I don't know. What was your favorite one, John? The one that was like aside from the pills, what was the most ridiculous?
Man. I thought it was pretty funny that somebody gave away a water bottle holder, like a shoulder harness water bottle holder, because
Oh,
of
the
your
aqua
love
clip.
for backpacking ornaments. And I think
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite though was the aqua clip.
Yeah.
Someone gave away an
Okay.
aqua clip. Now,
That was-
Jeremiah, I don't know if you've listened much to the Backpacking and Blisters podcast, but if you want to be truly entertained, talk to
Yeah.
Carl about the aqua clip. Just get him going
Oh,
on the aqua clip.
You're a big fan, huh?
It's
You love
like
the
old news now, though. Like nobody cares about that thing anymore, right?
Tell me more.
Oh no, it's just dumb. It's just like a dumb piece of gear. So okay. I'll just tell you real quick. My experience with the aqua clip is you just slide your water bottle in and bottle out. It clips onto your shoulder strap, and I was like bending down. We were kind of joking around, like as if we'd found some sort of Sasquatch carcass. We were in Olympic National Park, so I was like bending down as if I was like this wildlife expert. I'm like, so here we have, and as I bend down, it just like pops off my shoulder strap into the carcass. I didn't touch it. I'm just like squatting, and it just pops off. I was like, this is the worst thing in the world. And so then I couldn't use my water bottle for the rest of the trip, and I had to carry out a Sasquatch like gunked up water bottle.
Oh, Was the water
So,
bottle
go with that.
open at the time?
Oh, that would have been
No,
great.
but
I
it,
mean,
like
terrible.
the mouth part had touched the carcassy stuff.
Yeah, probably get rabies
Yeah.
from something like that.
Right.
Rabies.
Yeah, rabies is the zombie disease of animals. For
Yeah, but
some
don't you
reason,
have
it
to
doesn't
get
make-
bit by an animal to get like rabies? That's not something like you get from a dead
Or-
carcass, is it?
or drink carcass water. You heard it here first.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Drink carcass water.
To get rabies? To get
You get
to become
rabies.
a zombie, an animal zombie.
I'm gonna tell Outdoor Vitals
Animal-
that the next link we do for whatever product we do is gonna be carcass water. That's what I want the link to
Carcass
be.
Well, yes, Carl,
Outdoor Vitals / carcass water.
you're right. The animals, when they get rabies, they want to eat each other. But when they bite humans, it doesn't make us want to eat each other. But it turns them into
Right.
crazy little zombie animals. Just kills us, I think, unless you get the shot. Then you're okay.
Right.
Yeah, I felt so terrible about not having a white elephant gift for that I gave away a Chair 0L. So that's what I'm shipping out. Yeah, because I believe it or not, I made a video once, and it had all these chairs in it. And one of the chairs that was in the video was the Chair 0L, and it did not perform as well as other chairs that I had. So I decided I didn't want to keep that one. So I have that one, and I have a Nemo chair, and I gave the winner or the person who got my white elephant gift the opportunity to choose one of those two chairs, and they chose the Helinox. So that's what I'm shipping off.
Did you
For
wrap
those
it
that have seen
It
The
will be when they
Office,
get it.
and for those that have seen The Office with the White Elephant gift exchange, where Michael brings the video iPod, which far exceeds what everybody's expecting to get for rejected items. John, you were the Michael of that White Elephant gift exchange by far.
Yeah, I have the personality of Michael too, so that fits well.
That's funny.
I can't help it. I'm just a good boss, man. That's all it is. I'm just a good boss.
That's right.
So, Backpacking with Buckley says, I love carcass water mixed with hot dog water.
Yes. Nothing better.
There's a chance I might have just thrown up in my mouth just a little bit. Just a little bit. That might
Carl,
have just
do
happened.
you bring like powdered soap or anything like that on trail?
Wait, powdered soap?
Yeah, powdered soap
For what? Like
for washing,
For
so you could wash the carcass
taking like
water
a
off
shower or a bath in the stream?
if you want to. But I was just going to wash the
Okay.
carcass water off.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I mean, I got hand sanitizers as far as I go. So,
So no powder.
no. We were like 8 miles out from the car, so I just toughed it out. It wasn't that big of a deal.
Okay.
So, Carl, we may have a new trail name for you.
Okay.
Sasquatch Carcass. That has to be someone's trail's name. That's according to Pizza Ninja. That has to be a trail name. Sasquatch Carcass. Hashtag
It's a lot of
Sasquatch
syllables
Carcass.
right there.
If you want to vote for Carl's new trail name to be Sasquatch Carcass, leave the hashtag Sasquatch Carcass all over this chat and in the video if you watch it later. Or on Spotify. We
No,
want to
they
give
should
Carl
leave it-
a brand new trail name.
They need to leave it in
hilarious.
your comments on your YouTube channel.
That's
Backpacking
fine.
Blisters.
That's right.
Absolutely.
right.
Every time Backpacking and Blisters does a video, hashtag Sasquatch Carcass.
That's right.
Nothing else in the comment, just that. Just that.
If that happens, if we get enough, I'm happy to take that on as a new nickname. Happy.
I like that. I like that. Now, we missed
Yeah.
one. We didn't get to say it out loud, but Jeremiah Bagwell says, I use carcass water to make my ramen.
Oh, get the protein in there with all the carbs.
Oh, it's so terrible. So
Carcass
terrible.
They're so funny. It's such a funny thing. Oh my gosh.
You
I
know,
love
there's
it.
a company that actually sent me ramen, but it was.
I thought you were going to say that actually sent you carcass water. That's
No.
what
Can you imagine? Now they sent me some vegan ramen, and I had to look at that hashtag Sasquatch Carcass. I had to put some chicken in there to, I guess, ruin the veganism. To spice it up a little bit. What?
Wait, who sent you vegan ramen? Is this some random company like from like just like a generic branded ramen? They're like, we want you to review ramen on your channel.
No, I think they hit me up on Instagram. I'm pretty sure they knew I had the YouTube channel. You know, these companies are always soliciting you. I'll see. I'll see
Now,
if I
don't
see
know
it.
that. I don't get ramen solicitations. What are you talking
I
about?
was gonna say I've never gotten a ramen one. I would take that in a heartbeat.
I got it right here. This is free marketing for them. So their 3 packets of ramen that they sent me is working because I'm talking about it right now. On Instagram, it's IMMI Eats. Emmy Eats.
Emmy eats.
I'm a Eats. Anyway, yeah, they sent me some. I don't understand. It's vegan, but it's like one of them's pork, one of them's chicken, and one of them is veggie. And I'm like, how can it be pork flavored but vegan? How's that work? That seems a bit hypocritical. But it didn't
Yeah.
matter to me. I got some chicken chunks at Kroger, like the Star-Kissed ones. Poured it right in that sucker.
Right.
There's a fantastic comment here from Dan Laux. I think it's Laux or Lukes. He says, "What's the hardest thing about being a vegan? Keeping it to yourself."
Yeah.
Correct.
Sorry, vegans. We're more inclusive than that. I'm so sorry.
Good to go, Mills.
that's
They
so
make
funny.
vegan. Yeah, there's stuff in the backpacking world for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So okay, we've talked about the trip to Kentucky. Man, that was actually a blast. That was a lot of fun. It was cool getting you out here on the East Coast as opposed to being out west all the time. Now it means I have to go to Colorado.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
right.
That's
Yeah.
got to happen. now.
Open invite, Colorado. Yeah. Whenever you want to go, whatever trip you want to go on. So yeah, just let me know. Just last year, you're like, I want to come out in the springtime, and springtime is volatile. And
That's
so
what
we
you
had another
said.
rough spring. So that is not the time to come. But yeah, open invite for sure for both of you guys.
No, I
Fantastic.
definitely want to come out. I've oddly enough I've backpacked a lot of places, but it's all on the eastern half of the United States or in Africa.
Mhm.
So I need to get out west for sure.
The only time that I went
Absolutely.
out to Colorado, we did Holy Cross Wilderness, and that was
Yep.
amazing. So I'm sure the rest of the scenery is just as magnificent, but it was incredible.
Yeah, there's some good stuff for sure. Yeah, I'm pretty fortunate to live out here. But that being said, like it's, the seasons when you really, you get the nice weather are limited. So I was happy to go out to Red River Gorge, hit it up in April. Like I wasn't hitting the mountains comfortably in April here. So that was a good spot as well.
Yeah, and it was fun on the way down. We went up to Indian Staircase there at the last night, and I took them the back way down. So we got to do some like a little bit of rock scrambling and stuff like that. It was kind of fun watching people slide down the rocks and everything, and look at me like I didn't know where I was going. That was the best part,
Right.
because
I was
that
wanting to
trail's
know-
about this wide.
Yeah.
I literally, for people listening, I'm holding my fingers about 4 inches apart. Like it is
Right.
a very small trail, and if you don't know where you're going, you can get lost really easy. So, but we didn't get lost. We made it.
Did y'all
That was great,
see
man.
the broken suspension bridge?
Yeah.
Okay. And was
Yeah,
the water just
That was the
fine
one
to
that you
cross?
warned me about. We completely disregarded your warning, and we crossed the river. It was like thigh deep, and honestly, that was the highlight of the trip for me. Was the river crossing and trying to just kind of
And almost
I don't know.
dying.
I just like stuff like that.
Didn't you
What?
fall
What's
like pretty bad? Like everybody's worried about you breaking your collarbone.
I know. We took our shoes off on the bank on the near side, and it was muddy, but it was like the slippery mud. And yeah, I guess I took a bad fall. Like I just kind of got up and kept on going, but I had people asking like, "Hey, like seriously, like Carl, seriously, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I think it looked worse than it was." But again, it was the highlight of the trip for me. So
Well, Tupperware Mike actually came up to me real quietly. Goes, "Man, you need to check on Carl. I'm seriously afraid he broke his collarbone." Like he was dead serious, and he was really
Yeah.
concerned. So that's
Right.
why I came up to you and I was like, "Dude, is your collarbone okay?" And you're like, "Yeah."
collarbone. Yeah.
What's wrong with my collarbone? So
right.
so people love you, man.
I
There it is.
appreciate that. I'm also like really good at falling on the trail or off the trail as we're going. So I'm used to taking falls all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I think John's about to bring up some comments, but I was going to ask you. That wasn't the first time you fell. I asked you a little bit about this on the pre-show because I heard on your last episode of the Backpacking and Blisters podcast, you took your shoes off, and I think this was a long time ago, probably like
Yeah.
whenever you first started, but slipped and fell in
Right.
Yosemite or Yellowstone. I can't remember which you said.
Is this the episode that came out today? Did you listen to that today?
I listened to it today. Yes, I'm not sure when it
Okay,
came out. It was
so
the
that
most
must be
recent.
our latest episode. Yeah, we're talking about like our biggest blunders, and like Derek and I were kind of ranking each other on that. Like, here's what your biggest blunder is, and vice versa. And so, yeah, I think it was like right before I got into backpacking. I think I was 19 years old. We were in Yosemite National Park. For those that know, Yosemite Falls, I think it's like the second biggest waterfall in the world. Has like 3 big drops, like massive hundreds of feet drop, like a little stream, another drop, a little stream, then another drop. So like 3 big drops. And we got above the second drop. You kind of hike up to the top, and we took a lunch break, and like I was with a bunch of high school friends, and they were way more experienced than me. So I'm just kind of following along. Everybody's shoes come off. They're walking down the granite towards the falls, which is right at the base of the first major drop. I'm like, okay. And so I kind of just like, I'll go too. And as I'm going, like the spray from the waterfalls hitting the granite, making it super slick. And so I just slip, but the granite's angled down towards the river between the first and second drop. And I just literally slide with increased speed into that river that's between the first and second drop. So I go right into the river, down the river, over a small waterfall. Like I want to say like a 10-foot fall, and continue on down. And then I like managed to grab onto the side of the little mini canyon there and hang on as like water's like just hitting me. And yeah, just kind of like stayed there for a while, like for about half an hour. As this like 50-degree water is kind of just soaking into me. And I mean, I don't know how detailed you want me to get the story, but basically, meanwhile, the rest of my friends saw what happened. They're running down the trail. They're calling search and rescue. And some of them managed to like climb around and climb down into that little canyon area. And I was able to like, I don't know. They said basically I let go off the wall, continue down the river to like a rock where we all kind of piled on top of each other so I could kind of get warmed up waiting for search and rescue. And then they helicoptered me down to the valley. So I was probably this close from dying at age 19, just from kind of following along with the high school friends. And yeah, and I came out like literally unscathed, like not even like scrapes, like nothing. So yeah,
I'm never going to make
day.
fun of your manhood again.
That's like that's not a badge of honor. That's like an embarrassing
story. You
story.
survived like something insane. That's pretty impressive.
That wasn't through my own efforts. It was just by the grace of God.
Don't be humble. Don't be humble.
I can be humble.
Don't be
And
humble.
what'd you think about the helicopter? Was that part fun?
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, because you're flying through Yosemite Valley with the door open and just kind of hanging out. I was like, this is amazing for sure.
That's what I thought, man. You were in the valley of death and then delivered to the heavens in a helicopter, man.
Whoa.
Yeah, and then
that'll preach.
And like nowadays, what is that, like a $60,000 flight? Like they'll just kind of price gouge you
if you don't have the insurance for it,
right? And at the time, it was like hundreds of dollars. It was not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
So
well, this TNA Prime put hashtag Sasquatch slide.
Sasquatch
slide. We do have some pretty good comments in here. Carl, you need to take us on the 4-pass loop, apparently, in Colorado.
I would love to. I'm super nervous. So for those of you who don't know, it's like the most famous loop trail in Colorado. It's called Maroon Bells, and it is amazingly beautiful. But you go over 4 mountain passes that are 12,000 feet or higher. And I'm super nervous taking folks that live at low elevations that high, like out the gate that fast, because you're hitting a pass the first day. And I've just seen people struggle even at like 9,000 feet. So I think I would do it if people came a couple days early to acclimatize.
I was going to say, like, I've always been told show up a day early and at least spend one night before you go climb up into the mountains for that reason. I know when I did Kilimanjaro, I didn't do that. And but I never got
Right.
I never got elevation sickness because I was a nerd and got on everything about climate and how to deal with it and all that kind of stuff and elevation. And I actually worked out all right, but I had some friends that did not deal well with the elevation. So
Right.
So yeah.
And it's not fun. Like, it's not fun for people that are dealing with it, but it's also not fun for people that are not having a problem with it, because if you're fine, you either have to backtrack down to lower elevations or you're moving at a snail's pace to climb up and over something, and it just stinking takes forever. And in the Colorado mountains, and you got like thunderstorms coming in the afternoon, and you're on one of those high passes with lightning, like you don't want any part of that. And it's like you can't control it. You're like, go faster. I can't go faster. Well, let's turn around. I don't want to turn around. I don't want to do this again. So it's just a really uncomfortable situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I know a buddy of mine did the Colorado Trail, and he said there were a couple times where they'd be up on the top and they would have to backtrack because they had to get to tree cover because it was so bad, like hail and that kind of stuff. So Jeff Peters said something I am curious about. When we were taking that back way off of Indian Staircase, were you grading my navigational skills?
No, short answer is no, but here's the weird thing is like I was the one planning the trip, but I'm going into an area that everybody knows really well and I don't know at all. And so I kept on trying to like pawn the plan off on other people, and people were like, I don't know, you got this. I was like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what the stuff is. And then and I think, I don't know. And then with the map that I got ended up not having, like, you know how they have like the secret trails or these like side trails. And so I felt really inadequate. So I guess if I was grading anybody, I'd grade myself an F for the, you know, the navigation and the planning side of things.
Well, you put the right people on the trip with you. So I'll give you an A.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, just for bringing the bocce balls alone, I mean, you get an A. So
John,
it's
had you done that side trail before?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you already kind of know that whole route.
Yeah, I actually took some other YouTubers down that trail a couple years ago. So, yeah,
VIPs, baby.
I like taking people from out west. Let's go down a crazy trail. It's fun stuff. So, Carl Wallow Hikes wants to know, or Walloa Hikes wants to know, are you going to rally your Patreon members to sabotage my next trip?
To sabotage. So if I find out about a trip you're planning upcoming, just announce it on the Backpacking and Blisters Podcast. By the way, if you happen to be in such and such area, John Kelly will be there, and he wants to hike with you and talk with you the whole
time. I will never tell Carl where I'm hiking. It's over.
That's right.
I'm never telling Carl where I'm hiking. While you were telling your story, Riff Outdoors posted JK's face versus Jeremiah's face. Jeremiah looks all serious, and my jaw is dropped, and I'm like, the whole time. And I didn't realize it until I saw that comment, and then I kind of looked at my face in the screen. I'm like, oh wow, John, close your mouth. But yeah, man, that was pretty intense. Like I seriously thought, you know, I'm just glad you're alive, man.
I got kind of a weird like secondary story to that. I don't know. I think it's really weird. You can tell me if you think it's weird. So this obviously this happened like whatever 28 years ago or something, right? And the guy that was like running down the trail with his primitive cell phone calling search and rescue was a guy. His name is also John. John Eshelman was his name, and he was like a high school, like sort of a kind of more of an acquaintance and a buddy. And anyway, so back in 2020, we tried to do we're in Yosemite again. We're trying to do another loop, and I'm not able to make it. I have some injuries, and so a couple of buddies tried to do this like 50-mile loop one day in Yosemite. And talk about bad navigation, because I didn't go, they didn't take the time to like learn the loop, you know, navigationally. And so they end up getting lost. And at like, I want to say 12 hours overdue, I call search and rescue. So this is like our second search and rescue call to Yosemite, right? And then everything turns out okay. They were just lost, and they were kind of just off base. And we get back, and that same guy, John Eshelman, ends up like emailing me right when I get back. And he's like, hey, just checking in. Just wanted to see how you've been doing. I just was in Yosemite recently and remember that time when you got stuck in the waterfall, and I just wanted to kind of know like what's going on with you. And I hadn't talked to him since that trip. And then he randomly emails me 20 some odd years later, right when we call search and rescue again. Is that weird? I think it's kind of weird.
He was on that search and rescue team and saw your name for sure.
Probably.
Maybe that's what it was.
This guy again. This guy with the search and rescue.
It was after that incident he decided to join search and rescue because it was such an exciting moment.
That's right. That's right.
Didn't he? came back to haunt him 20 years later.
TN
That's right.
Prime says hashtag Squatchcopter to the rescue.
Squatchcopter.
Squatchcopter. I like that. Okay, so
I've been on your show 2 times, and you keep on bringing up Sasquatch is like the running thing both episodes. I think you guys are more into the Sasquatch than we are.
we never talk about it unless you're on here.
I've never, we've only talked about it twice. How
And
weird
this is the
that?
second time.
20 years later.
I'm sure I believe that.
Okay, so it's almost 10 till, and so that means we got to hear your poop story, man, because everybody has to tell a poop story. And this week, you're in for a double treat because
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna share one from the trip with Carl after Carl's story. So hopefully it's not a disappointment compared to his.
They're in for a real treat because we're tripling up, man.
You're giving one too?
I brought a clip to the table that I wanted to get your all's poop opinion on. And I
Oh.
thought maybe we could start with it as a little tease because I think it'll be the least entertaining of the 3. And then we can get into the juicy poop details that you guys are about to drop on us. No
Well,
pun intended.
let's watch the video and let's see what we got here.
Frozen ground. If you are pooping in the snow, you will likely have to carry out your waste. You can also use like a tube to carry your poop, a poop tube. What is a poop tube? A poop tube. So a poop tube is like a piece of PVC pipe that has a cap on either end, and you like poop, and then you put your poop in the tube and you close it. Poop tube.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right,
Don't
that's
say it like
enough.
that. It's a
Thank you.
So what is that?
So first of all, that's Miranda.
Yeah.
She works with REI. She's a YouTuber. Miranda
Or
goes
used
outside.
to work with REI. Used to work with
Well,
REI.
Okay. Well, that was posted on REI's YouTube channel. So I guess former associate. What's her YouTube? Is it Miranda Goes Outside?
I think so.
It's something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently, whenever you're backpacking in the snow, which I don't know a whole lot about because East Coast guys, this far south, I don't get a whole lot of snow. But maybe in Colorado, you're more familiar. So I was wondering, Carl, have you ever heard of or used one of these poop tubes? And guys, what are your all's thoughts and opinions on the whole said poop tube? Carl, you go first.
Yeah, I would say I'm generally like heavily against packing out poop. Like if there's any way to bury it, if I've got to dig down 2 feet of snow to make a cat hole, I'm willing to do that. I don't ever want to, the wag bags, like I think that stuff is ridiculous. So this is not for me. And especially PVC pipe. Is that like an ultralight way to pack out your poop? That seems like a really bad idea. So I would say thumbs down on that one. And I think that REI should delete that video off of his website.
Well, strong opinions here. That was only 20 seconds of the 15-minute video, but take the video down. Carl wants to censor.
Correct.
Sean, care to rebut?
Well, I'm just going to say there are some incredible comments about this. I'm just going to put them up there and let them speak for themselves because these are way better than anything I could say. First off, I will not be placing my poop in a tube. That will not be happening.
Right.
Don't bring that tube to the bank drive-thru. Oh, man. Poop tube. Now, that's a solid white elephant gift.
That was good.
Oh, this one's great. Backpacking with Jason, sir. What do you think of the poop tube? I'll answer that one for you. He don't like it.
Yeah.
Here's another one. Is the poop tube ultralight?
Oh, yeah. You could probably use like a paper towel holder instead of PVC pipe if you're an ultralighter.
And honestly, this might be my favorite comment of all of them. Opinion. Imodium is lighter in weight than a poop tube.
Whoa.
So I agree. I agree with all of those. I agree with every single one of those. We do need real quick before we go any further with this. We did have a couple super chats that need to get up here. Andy Ackerman, gents poop. So
thank you,
that's
Andy.
in there. And then Ben McMillan he's setting us $8.39 for making a bad zoo joke that didn't land. So, all right. So, Carl, give us your poop
Yes.
story, man.
Okay, I don't know that my poops are all that amazing. My wife and I found this interesting from the Red River Gorge trip. Was at our first camp, was at Hanson's Point? Is that where we were?
Yeah.
Okay. So there was, I guess, a common like poop zone near
poop trail.
our campsite.
Yeah,
Poop
the poop
trail. There you go.
Jeremiah knows where that is.
And so, yeah, which to me is super gross. I wouldn't ever go poop down there. I prefer to go like in the middle of the day when it's not, where I'm not going to be digging up other people's poop, basically. But one way to ensure that you weren't going to go down that trail with other people was somebody figure out a way to use, like they just had a feather, like a big bird feather. They stuck into the ground. And when the feather was up, somebody was down there going to the bathroom. When the feather was down, it was clear to go, which is great, which I think is a good system with a large group like we had. The problem with that system is that there were other people that were like randomly camping around us that I guess knew about the poop trail, and they did not know about the feather rule. So there still was some cross traffic going on.
Or members of our group wouldn't realize that we were using the feather somehow and would get done and walk out and leave the feather just sitting there, and everybody's sitting around waiting to go to the bathroom thinking somebody's back there, but nobody was back there at all the entire time.
Correct.
So
right.
My story involves the next morning, the last morning, Sunday morning. Woke up with a beautiful case of what I like to call the bubble guts. I found a backpacking food that might be worse than Mountain House. I got it because it was low in fat. And for those who know, like we've talked about on here, I am currently taking something called tirzepatide to help with blood sugar control and appetite and weight loss and all that kind of stuff. Well, can't eat a lot of fat. If I eat a lot of fat, it's bad. And so I got food that should have been great for me. It wasn't. It was really bad. And Sunday morning, I woke up and I was talking with one of the guys, and he was asking about my hammock setup. And he says, can you show me how your setup is? And so I'm going through all my stuff, and I went, I felt what I thought was going to be a fart come up. I stopped before it happened, looked at him and said, I got to go. Grabbed my poop bag, a water bottle, and took off and went back in the woods. I had pre-dug a hole because we talk about this all the time. If you want to really be smart when you go out in the woods, pre-dig a hole the night before, know where your spot is, and then it's ready for you. So I had a hole pre-dug. I shot so far past that hole, guys.
Oh, my goodness.
And there was no chance it was going to get in the hole. Like, I wasn't going back. I just apologized to anybody. Liquid. It just happened, and it was bad. And so I did that, and I came back to camp, and I'm like, okay, I feel a bit better. Not 5 minutes later, comes again. I take off back. I'm digging a hole, but I'm doing like, you know, the dance you do when you've got to go, but you're trying to keep it from like happening. So I'm like dancing and digging all at the same time, and I don't dance well. And so I'm digging this hole, and I get it all dug up. I get in the position right past it, like 2 feet past the hole, like just
2 feet.
Like I'm talking rocket speed. This thing just.
Yikes, man.
In total, there were 3 of those within a half-hour span of each other.
Oh, yeah.
That morning.
Yeah.
So ready-wise, we have issues.
Ready-wise, okay.
I feel like I should have warned you about Ready-wise ahead of time.
You warned me about the spicy Asian noodles. You warned me about the spicy Asian noodles.
They were terrible.
And I didn't bring them. I did not bring those because of your words. So I did listen to you.
I said that one specifically.
Yes.
But I just said in general, Ready-wise was terrible. But I said that one specifically was like extremely horrendous. So I'm not a fan of theirs, to be honest.
What were you doing?
I will not be patronizing them again.
Okay.
If you know what I mean. I'm not. They're not getting my money. They're not getting my money.
These, what are they? $10 a meal?
They're not expensive, man. They're not. Oh, the pizza ninja goes wide right, JK.
Wide right.
Oh man.
Home run.
Jeremiah.
Oh, John's new
ramen.
John's new trail name, Rocket Man. Okay, that's funny.
What were you gonna
Jeremiah,
say,
your vegan ramen has got to be better than the Ready-wise. Like vegan ramen, no added whatever. Like it's got to be better flavor.
Oh,
like, no joke.
You think so?
Yeah.
A little sriracha in there will help anything.
Dude, I
think
added
hot water. Hot water, no food, just hot water is better than the Ready Wise.
Oh, it was. I had to add seasoning and freeze-dried pork to the meal to make it good. It was just not in the slightest. I don't even remember what kind it was. I'm never, ever, ever going to eat that again. It destroyed me. And then I had to hike everybody down a hillside. So that was fun. The whole time, it's like, have you ever had that moment where you're like hiking and you're just praying, please just hold off until we get to the privy. Just hold off because everybody's following me down this hill. I'm the only person that knows where we're going. None of these folks had ever been down this trail before. I was the only one. So nobody knew where we were going but me. And it's not like I could just leave. If I stopped and went off, it's not like I could go on ahead, guys. That wasn't going to happen.
You could have figured it out. Come on.
Okay.
Yeah, you could have held the feather for him, watched his back.
That's fair. Oh, gosh. Andy Ackerman, John Power Wash Kelly.
I like that one.
Oh, man. So anyways, with all that said, Carl, it's always awesome having you on here. Can you please let everybody know how to find you online?
Yeah, I don't know that you want to find me specifically, but I think me combined with Derek, I think that's worth finding. Derek's the star of our show. So Backpacking and Blisters Podcast. I know we got some of our folks out here in the comment section, and so, you know what? We had our first live show. I think it was last week, and some people couldn't make it. They're like, "That's okay. We'll catch you on this live show today." And I was like, "That's really nice of you." But we're only doing one live show. These guys do it all the time. So we would have taken that extra view, but whatever. We're happy they were willing to show up. But yeah, Backpacking Blisters Podcast on all the audio apps and frequently on YouTube. But yeah, you're too kind, man. It's always an honor to be on your show. It's an honor to know both of you guys. So thank you so much.
Well, I'm hearing from Spencer Davis. Let me see if I can pull this up so you guys can see this. He said, Carl, you have to get JK and Jeremiah back on B&B. We also need to get Derek on this show. I appreciate the humor and camaraderie. So I do too, man. I will say this. In a lot of industries, people are very competitive. And so they don't know how to have fun with people that aren't themselves or who might be competition. There's no competition here. To be honest, I'm one of Carl's biggest fans. I tell him that all the time. I fanboy over him. I remember driving back from Florida, Jeremiah. I took my family to Florida for a week, and on the way back, they were all sleeping, like the entire way back. And so for 10 straight hours, I listened to episodes of Backpacking and Blisters. And by the end of it, I felt like I knew Carl and Derek. I felt like they were my best friends in the whole world. And I had never talked to Derek at that point. So, and now that I have,
you changed your mind when you met him.
And now Carl's my best friend in the whole world. So no pressure there, Carl.
I need more friends, so I'll take it.
Well, man, we're glad
That's
you're
why I
on
do the
here.
Patreon trips. I'm just looking for friends all the time.
There we go. Well, we're glad to have you on here, man. Hang out in the green room for a minute, because we'll come hang out with you in just a second, if that's okay with you.
Sounds good, man.
All right, man. We'll be back in just a second. Jeremiah, it's always fun having Carl on here. It's second time now?
Second time, and I was going to say a couple of things unrelated to Carl. It was Miranda Goes Outside with 2 exclamation points.
There we go.
Yeah. And I'm sure way more people know of her. She's got 122,000 subs on her
is that all?
channel. And she worked with REI, which put out a lot of videos with her. So she makes great content, by the way, if y'all want to check her out. I know we were kind of
shoot her messages. We've been trying to get a hold of her because we want her on the Backpacking Podcast.
Yeah, it'd be fun to sit down for an hour and talk to her. But
go on all of her videos. Go on all of her videos and put hashtag Backpacking Podcast.
Spammer channel.
All of her videos. Every video you watch, hashtag Backpacking Podcast. Until she finally goes, I need to be on the Backpacking Podcast.
Yeah, or puts out a restraining order.
One of two.
No press is bad press. Am I right?
That's the truth. Well,
here's
folks,
the other thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Why did you have your water bottle whenever you felt that first poop coming on? You said, I grabbed my water bottle, I grabbed my poop kit, and I took off. Were you using a bidet?
I'm using a Wissy wipes, those little caplet wipes that you remember. Do you remember when I bought the trowel on the show, and it came with the little capsules that you put water in them and they become wet wipes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had those, so I needed the water.
Oh man, you got me excited there for a minute.
Yeah, dude, I don't know, man. That would have been a lot of water used that day if I was doing a bidet. I wouldn't have anything to drink after that was over.
Yeah, you're probably pretty dehydrated.
I'd have been a mess, yeah. So it was better I just used a few drops for this towels instead.
All right. Yeah. Okay, we can wrap. Thanks.
Well, hey, this is the final live stream of season 6. Can you believe that?
That is insane. But we will be back with live streams August or September, sometime around the fall there.
Yeah. And we always pop up some surprise ones halfway through the day for no reason in the summer when Jeremiah and I get together. So those will happen also. But don't fear. We will have an episode every single Wednesday. An audio episode will be up on Spotify and Apple and all those great places that have podcasts. So be looking for those for sure.
Yeah, and I could continue the videos. So far, I've been getting positive feedback. I'm liking the videos on Spotify. I don't know why Apple doesn't have video, but Spotify or YouTube.
Well,
you can
yeah.
watch the video version.
I
don't know what Apple's
looking at
doing.
you. Jeremiah, they just love looking at you and that glorious beard.
Well, thank you. OutdoorBeards.com. You can have one too.
OutdoorBears.com. That's right. A big thank you to Outdoor Vitals for being our title sponsor for the show. And for myself and Jeremiah, we will catch you all on the next one.
Adios, folks.